there, and a pleasant welcome to the National News 5 for today here on Star Television Network on Channel 21. I am Hassan Kouma. For the headlines, NASIT to construct student hostels and affordable houses in Sierra Leone.
Coming in as an intervention and the singular flagship project of government and the free quality education, which you started as a minister.
Deputy Minister of Defense, Colonel Richard Murana Masakoy, applauds the huge support from the Chinese Medical Center in the health sector. It is government's commitment to further strengthen bilateral ties between the two countries.
We celebrated 50 years of fruitful relationship with the People's Republic of China, a relationship that is built on respect, trust, unity of direction, development, and promotion.
Sierra Leone Civil Rights Coalition expressed concern over what they described as unhealthy infights at local commercial bank that is challenging the corporate image of one of Sierra Leone's indigenous bank.
Investigated several issues in the bank. Last week, we did a mini press conference to raise several issues about the deputy.
And in sports, SLFA President Mostad Ibrahima confirmed Leon Stars will play 3 friendly matches in Turkey as part of their early preparations ahead of AFCON qualifiers 2022. All these stories plus more land up for you into this edition of the Star National News. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in details with me, Hassan Kouma. NASIT has signed an MOU with China Gansu International Corporation for Economic and Technical Cooperation for the construction of hostels in 7 universities and affordable houses across the country. This is aimed at solving perennial student accommodation problems and improving the housing sector. Hassan Sukamara was there. She now reports.
As part of its social interventions to support government flagship program, the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT, under the distinguished leadership of the Director General, Mohamed Fouad Dabo, on Thursday, 10th March 2022, signed a Memorandum of Understanding between NASIT and China Gansu International Corporation for Economic and Technical Cooperation, an international Chinese company for the construction of additional modern students' hostels in 7 universities' campuses and 5,000 affordable housing across the country.
We are looking at student hostels for some of our universities. As you are aware, we've had several other universities added to the original ones we know, that of Frobe College, Jalai University, and IPAN. For now, we have Eastern Polytechnic, we have Freetown Polytechnic, and we also have Mitmagana as a university. So which means for these, some of these campuses, about 7 campuses we have identified, we are going to give them student hostels to accommodate not all of the students that may require this housing facility. As such, each of these hostels have been identified to give us 400 rooms, of which 350 rooms will be double bedrooms and 50 will be executive rooms, fully air conditioned for postgraduate students.
The 7 universities' campuses includes Frobe College, Jala University, College of Medicine and Allied Health Science, Milti Magai Technical University, Freetown Polytechnic, University of Makeni, and Eastern University.
You know, this project, especially for the students' hostels and affording house, very important. We have visited, especially for the, the Sierra Leone University. Sometimes, actually we are getting some impression for this, because this is very important for the student hostels, because the traffic, the students will be on the way. It is convenient for the students. This is a reality.
The trust sets to construct 400 rooms in each of the 7 campuses aforementioned, with befitting facilities to make lives possible and easier for students in campuses.
The China Gansu International Economic and Technical Cooperation Company Limited, as well as the China Hualong International Construction Corporation. We want to welcome you to Sierra Leone, even if you have been here before, but for expressing intention to work with one of our most formidable institutions in the country. I have had time to go through the MOU last night, so I have some few issues there, but it's an MOU. Like you said, the most important aspect has to do with the actual agreement and how you move forward. But I am happy that we are taking this particular step, and I want to assure the chairman and the members of the board of trustees, including the management of NASIT, that this is a welcome development. I have discussed with the DG that an institution like NASIT should not be seen to be quiet for a year without showing something tangible that the state must be proud of. Otherwise, you stand to doubt the leadership. So I'm happy you listened to that. What is going on today in Poloko and what we are doing now are going to be living testimonies.
Speaking at the signing ceremony, NASIT Director General Mohamed Fouad Dabo said the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding was an establishment of the relationship between the trust and the partners, and that was a prelude to move forward with the project of constructing student hostels and affordable housing across the country. He said the Memorandum of Understanding was the basis of what they intend to achieve in the future for the people of Sierra Leone.
We are coming in as an intervention and the singular flagship project of government and the free quality education, which you started as a minister. Once enrollment in secondary schools and university multiplies, the principal there for Frobe College is challenged with accommodation. And we believe that as a social security institution, these are the social interventions to support government initiative and make life possible and easier for students on campus. Agreed that we had campus accommodation over 100 years ago, particularly in traditional universities. Much has not been done in terms of improving on those accommodations. We are not only going to add additional accommodation, Mr. Minister, but the accommodation we are going to add is going to match with the times and events of current situations. Gone are the days when students have to move from their rooms to go to the library to do research. The accommodation we are talking about, Honorable Minister, is for students to be in their rooms, to access internet, to do their research, to write their papers and present to the lecturers. That's what we are attempting to achieve. And that achievement is going to support the initiative of government.
The Deputy Minister of Defense, Colonel retired Nuwana Masakoi, had official farewell ceremony for Chinese military medical experts at Taifa Military Hospital, commended the huge support by the Chinese, especially in the health sector, and reiterated government's commitment to further strengthen the bilateral tie between the two countries. There is a report.
Addressing the Chinese military medical experts group at the Infectious Control Unit at the 34 Military Hospital, the commander of the Joint Medical Unit, Colonel Dr. Stephanie Sivali, noted the significant role the Chinese medical team had played since the outbreak of the Ebola epidemic, as well as the COVID-19 pandemic, in mitigating the impact of disease. He revealed that the first case of the COVID-19 in Sierra Leone was managed by the Chinese military medical experts team in collaboration with the 34 Military Hospital, noting that all critical cases of COVID-19, no matter where they arise, ultimately find their way to the 34 Military Hospital.
It is always not the most pleasurable moment when you are saying farewell to people that you have developed a very good relationship with over a period of time. However, these are inevitable moments. They will come no matter what we do. And it is in this spirit that I stand here today to first of all welcome you to this occasion and also state that we have been able to cultivate a relationship with the People's Republic of China over decades, but particularly for 34 Military Hospital over the last 5 years. We have had teams that have come in and gone, and I have to say this particular team that we are here today to bid farewell to has been a special one. They have been special in many respects. They have been with us through very difficult times. The most outstanding is the COVID-19 pandemic. Minister of Defense, sir, and the Chief of Defense Staff, I have to mention that the first case of COVID-19 was diagnosed in this hospital. The first case of COVID-19 in Sierra Leone was managed by the Chinese military medical experts group in collaboration with 34 Military Hospital.
On his keynote address, the Chinese ambassador to Sierra Leone stated that public health is an important area of friendly cooperation between the two countries, while commending the country's health sector and the leadership of the 34 Military Hospital in mitigating the impact of COVID-19 outbreak, as well as addressing infectious disease outbreaks. He recounted some of the interventions the Chinese government had made to the government of Sierra Leone in the area of donating medical consignments in the fight against both the Ebola virus disease and the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The 5th Chinese Military Medical Expert Group was dispatched to Sierra Leone in November 2020 for enhancing military medical cooperation between our two sides. The cooperation dates back to 2015, when the Chinese side came to help Sierra Leone in fighting against Ebola. Over the past 1 year and more, the 12 members of the Chinese Military Medical Expert Group have been working side by side with their Sierra Leonean counterparts at the Tropical Infectious Disease Prevention and Control Center at the 34 Military Hospital. They have exerted immense efforts in helping the Sierra Leonean side detect, prevent, and control COVID-19 and other tropical epidemics.
The Deputy Minister of Defense, retired Colonel Morana Massaquoi, on behalf of the government of Sierra Leone, thanked the Chinese government for what he described as a wonderful gesture over the years, noting the very worthy relationship that kept the two countries going. This was what he had to say.
Tour of duty that started in November 2020. The importance of the contribution of the Chinese people to Sierra Leone in general, and particularly to the Ministry of Defense, is appreciated by the caliber of people in this hall bidding farewell to the Chinese Medical Expert Group this afternoon. As a country, we recently celebrated 50 years of fruitful relationship with the People's Republic of China, a relationship that is built on respect, trust, unity of direction, development, and promotion of a common interest. Since its initiation in 1971, the relationship between China and Sierra Leone has grown from strength to strength. In recent history, when Sierra Leone was hit by the Ebola epidemic in 2014 to 2015, the Chinese were the first to bring in medical supplies to support the efforts against Ebola.
China has sent over 500 Chinese medical and health experts to Sierra Leone to provide help in the medical sector of the country since 1973, noting the mutual benefits both countries had gained over the years, with 34 military hospitals becoming renowned in the control of infectious disease outbreak. For Star TV News in Freetown, compiled by Abdurrahman Kamara, read in the studio by Hassanatu Kamara.
The Sierra Leone Civil Rights Coalition, a leading civil society organization, has in a news conference held on Wednesday, March 16th, expressed concern over what they describe as the unhealthy infight at Hotel Commercial Bank that is challenging the corporate image of one of Sierra Leone's regional bank, with investigations conducted so far points at specific individuals that seems to be undermining the leadership of the bank. Adonis Francis reports.
According to the National Coordinator of Sierra Leone Civil Rights Coalition, Alfonso Mali, they have been experiencing some infighting within the Hotel Commercial Bank. And as a reputable civil society organization, they have done their investigations on the said matter against the managing director of the bank, Dr. Ekundayo Walton Gilpin, noting that they have engaged several sectors within the bank and out of the bank concerning the said allegation of sexual harassment by the managing director of the bank.
We have investigated several issues in the bank. Last week, we did a mini press conference to raise several issues about the deputy. We also looked into the issue with regards the head of legal affairs of the bank, which is the company secretary, with regards an allegation of sexual harassment. Today, we are going to continue to unearth issues of the bank, and we'll be looking at the Business Development Directorate today, to be specific.
Giving an overview of their operation on the said matter, they brought to the attention of notable media institutions that the Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Emmanuel Bobo, is one of the people undermining the leadership of Dr. Gilpin, noting that they have also cautioned the bank governor that he wanted to hold a meeting with the staff of the bank.
We brought to the attention of reputable media institution last week that the Deputy Managing Director, Mr. Emmanuel Bobo, is one of those individuals in the bank undermining the leadership of Dr. Gilpin. Several media houses carry that story. We've laid that to rest. We believe there is some amount of understanding between the both of them. We also cautioned the bank governor because we got to tip that he wants to hold meeting with staff of the bank. We told him publicly that was wrong because we believe there is a board in the bank. Whosoever falls foul, the highest decision making in the bank is the board of directors. You revert to the board of directors. The board of directors cannot solve the problem, then they will refer to the institution supervising that bank.
Moreover, since Dr. Gilpin assumed office in 2017, he has done a lot of marvelous job for the bank by raising the bar from 2 billion to 8 billion profit margin.
Since he assumed office in 2017, he has sent several staff abroad for capacity building. And I've sent several staff to Ghana and India for medical attention. It has not been happening in the bank, across the board. He has brought into the bank financial inclusion, bringing everybody on board to work as a team. He has changed the core banking system. We are now doing digital banking at Hotel Commercial Bank, including the Singapore Pay. All of you know. He has encouraged several staff to build their capacity, and the bank have been supporting capacity development of staff since 2017.
For Star News, Adonis Francis reporting.
In case you just tune in, you're still watching the National News File for today here on Star Television Network. On Channel 21 with me, Hassan Kouma. Sierra Leone Legal Aid Board has conducted a day training workshop for paralegal and community stakeholders on the reduction of crime rates and to foster promotion of peaceful coexistence in communities. The workshop was held at the Labour Congress Hall in Freetown. Yesi Hallowell was there he files in his reports.
The Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone was established in 2015 by the country's Legal Aid Act. The purpose of the board is to provide justice services to poor and marginalized people in Sierra Leone who cannot afford legal service. The keynote speaker for the occasion, Max Conte, while speaking, spoke on the aspect of corruption and crime reduction, paying attention to low income. Further, that if a person is paid a small amount of money, there is no way that person can abstain from corruption and crime.
Crime. How to reduce crime? You just have a way they say how to reduce corruption. When I tell me true by then, the papers is 600,000, you go free from corruption. Not possible. You don't go free from corruption. With my country, they pay you for let live. Yeah, then they pay you for let exist. Most of us, you don't answer, they pay we. It make it possible they will commit crime every day. So the first and foremost, now for reward people then well. Then at that time, the crime of let not do work proper, it will reduce. But then they pay workman properly in this country. The answer is no. About Will Richard, about 80% of the workmen in this country, now they get up to 2 million. Not many places that they can't their way they pass they are official motor. If you say get back money, if they tell you salary, you go sorry for that. So all that they cause about crime.
The executive director of the Legal Aid Board Sierra Leone, Fatmata Clark Alton Hansels, said the training is to admonish community stakeholders to preach peace and unity amongst members of their communities, especially the youth, to stay away from crime during the elections period.
And different organizations then, because we don't get so many people who listen to the community over the long period of time now, and we care about the crime rates. In fact, see it a go up. The jail they still not empty, the cell they're not empty. And in addition to that again, gradually they edge into election year. So the Legal Aid Board, when I need for Poma, I need a lawyer, we don't fool so many people in community. We don't begin together with organization, the partner, the community people, the heads of institutions, they say, do ya this country I know what we get. Let we able for talk to ourselves, let we know say for respect the law, for respect ourselves. We for no say we get rights, we get duty. You own rights a day, but you get obligation back to your company. Respect yourself and do what you know say. No okay you go to court, you know go land you in jail. And that's make we talk to people. Because even though about 2 weeks ago we finished the judicial week where we get over 1,013 inmates, different side in the country. So Monday it don't day for long, you don't get paper. So Monday it just day witness no they come. So Monday you don't get owner, then get bail post, no they for can stand bail. So on and so forth. And the CJ do very well for putting all together. Then we able for at least look inside the jail, inside the country. Because government is spending plenty money bamboos and okay. And boku tell the people they go left people na courts, na police, we tell each for let them come for make let the case go before they know they come.
Kai Kamara, head of inmate affairs at the Sierra Leone Correctional Service, while speaking, said most of the young people that are in prison are between the ages of 18 to 45. He said what needs to be done for these youth to stay away from crime is for them to be engaged in skills training. Further that the youths do not want to work, but instead they want to engage in crime so as to make fast income.
Then we get a reformation, then we get the reintegration process. A few days ago, I entered inside Gilead and they tried to talk to them, a young man there. Because a number of, people that were in Gilead are active youths and they very young boys from the age of 18 to 45 years went for make sober decision in this country. But they are not out. They're all there inside it. So I don't talk to serviceman. But actually, waiting for they reduce some of them, you understand, then crimes are where they commit. Now for let you learn more. But these guys are not agree for language. Some man
Reporting for Star News, I am Yesi Ernest Hallowell.
Let's turn our attention to the sporting world, where the president of the SLFA, Thomas Dadi Brahma, has confirmed that Leon Stars will play 3 friendly matches in Turkey as part of their early preparations ahead of AFCON qualifiers 2022. Let's join our sporting reporter has more. Let's now join him for more on the sporting world.
Thanks, Hassan. Welcome to the Sporting News. Now, ahead of the 2023 African Cup of Nations finals that will be staged in Ivory Coast, the Sierra Leone Football Association has lined up 3 friendly matches for Leon Stars. According to the president of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Thomas Dadi Brahma, this is part of the Football Association early preparation to say that Leon Stars qualify again for the Nations Cup. Despite the team did better in the past Nations Cup in Cameroon. He lauded the efforts of the president of the country, President Julius Maada Bio, giving support to football in the country. He said with more support from governments, football will reach the higher peak. Here is the report.
The Sierra Leone Football Association has confirmed that Leon Stars will play 3 friendly international matches. According to the president of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Thomas Dadi Brahma, this is part of the team's preparation ahead of the 2023 African Cup of Nations to be hosted in Ivory Coast. He lauded the efforts of President Julius Maada Bio, giving support to football in the country.
After a little over 25 years of waiting, our country was opportune to qualify for the Total Energies AFCON 2021 in Cameroon. That was our 3rd appearance and the continent's biggest football festival. Clearly, our participation in the recent concluded tournament was not as glorious as we all anticipated. We, however, came back with some respectable results against big nations in Africa and a Man of the Match award won by our goalkeeper. Now that gives us hope for the future. I would like to use this opportunity to thank the President, Brigadier Retired Julius Maada Bio, the government and people of Sierra Leone for your priceless support in diverse ways. Our going to Cameroon wouldn't have been possible without you all. To our worthy ambassadors, the players, we are extremely grateful for your relentless sacrifice. You fought hard and you made the nation proud. With that being said, please let me quickly announce that our next campaign to try and qualify for the 34th edition of the tournament, which will be held in Ivory Coast in 2023, starts now.
Thomas Dadi Brahma, president of the Football Association, added that the country will play against Togo, Liberia in the friendly and also Congo-Brazzaville from the 24th, the 27th and the 29th respectively. These matches will be Leon Stars' first after the 2021 African Cup of Nations action in Cameroon. He said this will serve as a build-up matches for the team, opening games in the 2023 qualifiers in June.
As a way of building up the team ahead of the qualifiers proper, I hereby confirm that Leon Stars shall engage in 3 friendly matches, all in Turkey. As a country, we cannot afford to miss out of the Total Energies 2023 in Ivory Coast. We are therefore asking all Sierra Leoneans to come on board and support the national team to make sure we fly the green, white and blue high again.
The Football Association is yet to come out with a list of invited players. Although John Keister is looking forward new faces to the squad.
So Leon Stars going out for friendly in Turkey. One of these teams that will be playing against Liberia. The last time Sierra Leone played against Liberia, it was in the World Cup qualifiers. Although Sierra Leone failed to qualify to the next stage after Omar Bangura, known as Ngede, missed from the penalty spot. Now, sad news in the football family, or in the sporting family. The former director of sports, Ibrahim Bangura, died the past days after a short illness. He served under the leadership of the then Minister of Sport Ahmed Khan. According to football fans, this is a big loss between the football fraternity and also the sport fraternity. A young and gentle man who died at an early age of 45. May the soul of Ibrahim Bangura continue to rest in perfect peace. On behalf of the sport team in the Media One Center, I want to extend our condolence to Bangura's family. More details for his burial will be announced later. Finally, for today's sporting news, the Sierra Leone Premier League Board, headed by Ali Vani, ESQ, has given 3 points and 3 goals to Bollinger Football Club after Bollinger Football Club lost the opportunity 1-0. But Bollinger Football Club filed in a protest against Desmond Wellington. According to the disciplinary committee at the Sierra Leone Football Association, the player was not properly transferred, and now 3 points and eagles has been awarded to Bollingers. So Bollingers are top in the Sierra Leone Premier League with 45 points, followed by Eastern Lions in second position. So that's all for sports. For today's news, back to Hassan in the studio.
This is all we have time for in our national news file for today here on Star Television Network on Channel 21 with me, Hassan Kogoma. Thanks for watching and we'll stay with us for the very best.